Hello, my name is Patrick Gillespie. I'm working as a technical coordinator on the project H20 WR, which is co-financed by the Europe for Citizens program through the Measure Networks for Towns. The lead partner is the municipality of Ruma in Serbia, and we're in partnership with 6 other cities and towns. Today what I'd like to do is present the Eco-Quiz, which was held in the last event in Szigetvár and Pécs in Hungary, and that was hosted by HICS, which is our Hungarian partner. So the purpose of this film is to go over the quiz as well as to present you some of the more interesting water facts, water information that you can find in Europe. So we have a quiz here with 11 questions, and I would like to go through it with you. So I hope you find it interesting. So here we go. Question number 1. The following statement is true regarding global water supply and demand by 2030. So as you see here, there will be enough water to support the entire global population. Water supply will exceed water demand by 10%. Water demand will exceed water supply by 30%. Water demand will exceed water supply by 60%. So those are the possible answers that we've had on the quiz, and the answer here is C, surprisingly. So quite an alarming statistic there. How many Europeans live in areas where the availability of groundwater is low? 503 million Europeans, 306 million Europeans, 158 million Europeans, 53 million Europeans. So the surprising answer is C, which means that over 1 in 5 Europeans face problems with groundwater, and they have low availability of it. Moving on, number 3. Which EU directive is the most comprehensive when it comes to water protection? A. Water Framework Directive, the Habitats Directive, B. C. The EU Urban Planning Strategic Directive, or D. Answers B and C. The most comprehensive piece of legislation with the water framework is the Water Frameworks Directive. This is the main piece of legislation that the EU has focusing on water protection and water management. What percentage of European communities, towns, are over-exceeding their groundwater use, meaning they're using way too much groundwater? A. 10% of European communities are overextending groundwater use. B. 20%. C. 30%. Or D. 60% of European communities. The answer to this question is shockingly D, which means that close to 2 out of 3 European towns, communities are using too much groundwater, relying on it way too much, and they're at risk of losing it. Next, which of the following has been achieved in the past 30 years as a result of the EU's water policies? A. Average nitrate concentrations in European rivers has been reduced by over 20% between 1992 and 2012. B. Citizens of the EU have access to the cleanest water on the planet. C. Over 90% of Europeans have been connected to sewage systems. Or D. All of the above. The answer to this question is A. This has been a big achievement, and this is mainly due to regulations on fertilizers as well as of the disposal of fertilizers and similar chemical substances. Now moving on. Number 6. How much does 1 liter of bottled water cost on average in the EU? How much does 1 liter of tap water cost in the EU? So we have some different answers. A bottle of water, €2.50 versus €1.50 for tap water. €1 for a bottle of water. Meanwhile, 25 euro cents for a liter of tap water. €3 for 1 liter of bottled water versus 0.004 cents for 1 liter of tap water. Or D, €1.50 for 1 liter of bottled water versus 0.004 euro cents for 1 liter of tap water. So the answer here is D. This is the average cost of 1 liter of bottled water, such as, well, I won't name any brands, but something you could find in the grocery store. versus the cost of tap water, which is extremely cheap. It's not even a euro cent. Which of the following is a weird fact about water pollution? A. Pollution can be removed from water by adding salt. B. If pharmaceuticals such as contraception pills are diluted in water and then consumed by fish, they could change the sex of a male fish to female. C. 97% of the Earth's water is salty, 2.1% is locked in polar ice caps, and less than 1% is available as fresh water. So the answer to this question is D. The statement about birth control pills and the part about salt water are both true, and perhaps something that you never even considered. How many Europeans are already affected by water scarcity, meaning limited water supplies? 3 out of 4 Europeans, 4 out of 5 Europeans, 1 out of 5 Europeans, or 1 out of 2 Europeans? The answer to this is C. So 20% of Europeans are affected by water scarcity, meaning that they lack water. Number 9. How many liters of tap water do Europeans use daily? So is it 500 liters per day, 300 liters, 100 to 200 liters per day, depending on the country, or less than 100 liters per day? The answer is C. It depends on the country. What we found was that Malta had the lowest water consumption, which was actually less than 50 liters per day on average. Meanwhile, other larger countries, such as France, Germany, had much higher water consumption. But it depends on which country, but on average, between 100 and 200 liters of water per day. Which of the following is true about the chemical status of Europe's lakes, rivers, and groundwater? A. 50% of European lakes are in poor status. B. About 40% of Europe's rivers are in good status. C. About 65% of Europe's groundwater is in good status. D. All of the above. The answer is all of the above. So perhaps one fact that might shock you is that 50% of European lakes are in poor status. The main reason why water consumption is high in households is due to the following. So this is considering legislation. Is it because of a lack of legislation on the use of groundwater, water in dishwashing machines and washing machines? Is it because of a lack of legislation on the use of tap water for showering? Lack of legislation on the use of water for flushing toilets? Perhaps it's D. Answers B and C. And in fact it is. So there is pretty strong legislation on dishwashers as well as washing machines and how much water they should use, but not on showering, tap water, and using water to flush toilets. So this is where the EU has recognized that changes should take place to legislation. So we come to the end of the Eco-Quiz, and I hope you find this informative. I hope you find it interesting. And please stay tuned to the Facebook page as well as our YouTube page for H20 WR. We'll be posting more videos in the near future. Thank you very much.